Brown now to run the point with the point guard himself, Chris Paul. I would say, Chris, that Jayson Tatum, he may be coming off one of, if not his best games of the postseason. He has the numbers, of course, to back it up, numbers that we haven't seen. Take a look at this since LeBron James in 2018. Man. But you keyed in on the way that he started Game 3. Why is that?
As players, we all play off rhythm. You know, JT is an unbelievable player. I've had the pleasure of knowing him since he played AAU basketball. So he commits himself to the gym, to working out and training. And in this game, you could see early in the game, starting in the first quarter, if you roll the tape, he just came out aggressive.
All right.
They knew how much this game meant to them. You see this, 5-2 early in the game. JT drives, gets himself an easy bucket, gets a chance to see the ball go through the net. Here, Miles Turner in a drop. JT, one dribble pull-up, 3. Now you know he's feeling good. Right here, he's right here in the mid-post. He gives a hard jab, gets the space he needed. Cash. JT got it going. Now, right here, you get a chance to see his strength. Right here in transition, he just overpowers, goes up for an easy layup. Now here in the post with TJ McConnell, you gotta go double. He hits him with the dirt, one leg, fade away. He's feeling good.
Right.
He's feeling good, and all of that was in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. If that's going on in the first quarter, you know it's going to be a long game. You look at his shot chart here, he's making threes, he's making middies, he's making layups and dunks. He's a 3-level scorer, and so when you see JT like this, his teammates got confidence, and it's going to be a long night.
Because he's scoring from everywhere. When you're 12 of 23 from the floor, you're being able to open up the floor for your teammates as well. Bob, you had a front row seat to the last time that the Boston Celtics were in the finals, and if they get the win tonight, of course, they'll be on their way for the second trip in the last 3 seasons. What's different about this Boston Celtics team than the one in 22?
They're better, Malika. They're better. I mean, they're not a little bit better. I think they're a lot better. And I think that has to do with all of it. That's Drew Holiday coming aboard. I think that's a big addition, is Drew Holiday, and as well as this guy, Tatum. He's a better player now. He's averaging 26, 10, and 6. We criticize this guy. We're hard on him for only one reason. It's not because of anything that he hasn't won a championship. It's the only reason why we come down his road, but his numbers are historically great. Their team's been great. They're top 6 in offensive and defense in the clutch the whole season. They're just a lot better. But here's what I think the real point will be, Malika. If they get to the finals, and obviously they're very close right now, having Drew Holiday on their team, having a guy that's been there and done that, I promise you there's going to be a moment in the finals, should they get there, and I don't want to skip a step, but they're on their way, it looks like. That guy right there, he's going to be their leader, in my opinion, because his steadfastness, how measured he is, his composure, you watch him on the floor, he's not volatile, he's not up and down. They're going to look at that guy in the huddle, and he's going to go, don't worry, we're okay. And that means so much in the tensest moments of an NBA Finals, and that's what their goal is, to win the Finals. And that guy right there, we keep looking at him. When they got him, I texted Brad Stevens. I said, that was a good move. I'm glad I'm out of the NBA.
I completely disagree.
Oh my gosh!
What part of it?
I'm going to tell you what part of it, okay?
Thank you, Chris.
When you talk about Drew Holiday and what the Celtics are going to be because of him, I will remind, first of all, Drew Holiday is big time. Love him as a player. His defensive ability, nothing to be questioned about there. But when I think about the Boston Celtics, there has to be a slight alteration compared to what we saw a couple of years ago. And that dude, Jaylen Brown, that performed in that NBA Finals, that was Boston's best player in that NBA Finals, there's a fire in his belly. See, Drew is cool no matter what. So when I look at him and I look at guys feeding off of him, I don't see guys feeding off of him the way I think they would feed off of Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown didn't have to do that in the past when Marcus Smart was there. But with Marcus Smart being gone now because you got Porzingis and Drew Holiday being there, I'm talking about a personality, your personality makeup. The finals show up, that dude, Jaylen Brown, somebody like that with that fire in their belly, that is what is going to be needed to offset what we presume will be Kyrie, Luka. You see P.J. Washington in the way he acts. You see Gafford in the way he acts. You see how demonstrative they've been. You ain't going to be too cool for school beating them. You're going to have a little something extra.
Look, something has been missing from the Celtics. They've gotten close and close and closer and close, but they have these disappointments every year. And there's something like, even tonight, I don't know that I trust, right? I mean,
You've been saying that all year.
Why are you laughing?
You say that every game?
Every game.
I don't. Yes, every game.
What they got to do?
You know what they got to do. There's only one. There's one. I know, Chris.
Tonight,
but there's only one
deciding?
acceptable outcome for these guys.
Well, tonight,
okay.
Don't I'm tempted to pick Indiana when we get to that point.
Yeah, I know you are.
I am tempted. Let me see if I have the guts to do it. So what is it? Like, I didn't like, look, Drew, there's no question, and I've heard Chris say this time and again, so it's in my head, about Drew Holiday and how valuable he is. Floor and locker room. So I'm off that. Because I remember thinking when they traded Marcus Smart, they screwed up. But this was self-correcting. They got lucky when Milwaukee was misguided enough.
What kind of knew that was going to happen?
Right, but they did. But I'm saying, so it was self-correcting. You lose Marcus Smart, who provided some of what we talked about, but you get Drew Holiday, who has even more and a ring. But let's see, they still have played these clunkers. They have been outplayed in 2 games out of 3 games in this series. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, you got to show me.
Don't minimize what I said about.
I want to hear what Chris. I want to hear what Chris.
My bad.
I just want to talk to a basketball player.
Talk to the man. How many wins did they get this year? Huh? How many wins did the Celtics have?
64.
Right. So all season long, they didn't play that many competitive games. You know, so for them, when they do have to play these games, it's probably a little bit different for them. But y'all said it today, they played over 100 playoff games together, right? JT and Jaylen. So when that time comes, I mean, they're already in the playoffs and they compete. We'll see what happens. But I know all season long they played the same way every night with one purpose, to win a championship.
Yep.
So that's the only thing that's on their mind night in and night out.
That lack of those close games, do you think that will hurt them at all down the stretch here?
I don't
playing
think
some
so.
close ones now.
Yeah.
I mean, what were the Indiana Pacers games that they've been playing?
Did they win that?
What is
won a
it
bunch
that
of
you
games.
always say? You always say you need to get your heart broken before, and they have had their heart broken.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And Jayson Tatum told me that he thinks that this team is a better team than they had back in 22, and I'm with him.